Hello everyone, this is Paul, your e-hobby guy. As you probably know, you get disgusting fumes when soldering. I put together this fume extraction assembly all just for a few dollars. I use this every time I'm soldering. The build is easy and it's inexpensive. It can be used bench top like this with the 2 feet supporting it, or it can be clamped higher up like this with this strong clamp for higher soldering work. So stick around, we'll go through the build from start to finish and I'll show you how we did it so that you can make your own while following along at home. Let's jump right in. I was very tempted to spend $5 for the case fan instead of $4. You guessed it, because of these gratuitous blue LEDs. But I resisted the urge and went with the regular black case fan. After all, how many blue LEDs can I have shining in my face at any one time? Since I built this project a few years ago, I actually had to disassemble it to make this video. And so we'll go through the build slowly and I'll explain exactly what I did. The 2 feet I bought at a hardware store for 99 cents. And there was a lot of variety there, so you won't have a problem finding something similar. The one thing I want to point out right now is you have to be careful which side of the fan you mount the feet. There's an arrow that shows the direction of airflow on the fan, and you want the feet to be mounted on the same side, the side that the arrow is pointing at. The clamp I bought for 99 cents at Home Depot. It had one hole that was appropriately sized, so I had to drill one other hole. We'll talk about that in a minute. The hardware to secure the clamp to the fan consisted only of 2 screws, 2 nuts, and 2 washers. The screw or bolt length is 1/2 inch, and these were 632 flathead or countersunk head screws. But anything close to that should be just fine. And so the hole size to drill the clamp and the fan should be just slightly bigger than that. And so I first drilled 2 holes in the center of the fan so that it can be bolted to the clamp. I then measured the distance between the holes so that I could drill the same hole pattern on the clamp. I then measured the same distance on the clamp and I marked it and then drilled it. Before we mount the clamp, let's take a look at the 2 brackets. I got these, like I said, for 99 cents at the hardware store. These 2 brackets get mounted to the fan using 2 of the 4 mounting screws that came with the fan. This is what they look like mounted. Well, mounting the clamp was easy. Using the holes that we drilled earlier and the hardware we described, we simply mount the clamp, making sure to use the countersunk or flathead side of the screw on the fan blade side, pushing the screw up from underneath. This way the fan blades will clear the head of the screw. This is what it looks like mounted. Next we'll take a look at the switch. To mount the switch, I had to drill a 3/16 of an inch hole, or 5 millimeters. This is a standard mini micro switch and was glued in place after it was mounted on the hole. I used a standard 12 volt power supply, of which the negative wire was wired directly to the black wire from the fan. The positive wire from the 12 volt power supply went to one side of the switch. The other side of the switch was wired to the red wire of the fan. The yellow wire of the fan is not used. This fan only uses 160 milliamps, and so any 12 volt power supply that's capable of 160 milliamps or greater is perfectly fine. To make it as neat as possible, I wrapped the wires around the outside of the fan and glued everything with hot glue in place as best I could. It doesn't look the greatest, but I'll wrap it with some electrical tape and it's going to work just fine. This is me wrapping it with some tape, trying to get it neat, and we're almost there. Well, that about wraps it up. I hope you have fun making this, especially one that's helpful when soldering. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel to be automatically notified of upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.